In qCreator, it's super easy to set a breakpoints on qWarning. There is a checkbox for that. But how do you do that in CLion? Not as simple. And while I'm there, I'll show you a few tricks with the debugger. So I added a qWarning to my main, actually very short into my main. And I'll just show you in my debugger that it actually works here. So I start my application, it runs, and it has set this debug. We can see that, or set the breakpoint here by the indication here. And here's it broke at that breakpoint here. I can see in my console output that end of the world detected has been printed. I could, of course, if I wanted a debug line here, just set it like this, and this episode would be rather short, but I want to set a breakpoint on qWarning in general. So how do I do that? Well, let me show you. So it's not that difficult as long as you know how to do it. You go to your debugging window here, and there is this whatever symbol that is supposed to indicate view breakpoints. Control-Shift F8. Better get that into your fingers. And here is the overview of your breakpoints. Here's my main.cpp. That's the breakpoint we have right over here. There are CMake and Python and JavaScript and whatnot breakpoints. And then there is one in here that is called symbolic breakpoints, but I don't see that yet. If I go up here, say plus, then I can add a symbolic breakpoint. And the breakpoint, this simple name I want to add a breakpoint to, well, I want to put it on qWarning. There we are. And whenever that is hit, I want to suspend execution. And yeah, let's try that. I need to restart my debugger, obviously. So there we are. And while you're sitting there, say, yes, but that was a short episode. What are you going to talk about? I just want to bring to your attention that I am now at this line here, but the qWarning was up here. That is peculiar, isn't it? End of world detected. So it passed by that, but it didn't break. And why did it not break? Well, let me reveal that for you. qWarning, if I press F2 on that now, you can see that is actually just a qDefine. So there are no such symbol as qWarning that it could put on. Instead, it's qMessageLogger.warning that we want. So this one down here, that is the line. And let's just put a breakpoint there. And well, stop my debugger again. Start it again. Come on, stop my debugger. Start it. Good. And now on the screen, I'll stand still, or I'll move a bit around, and you can watch me move a bit around. Wow, I don't know how long it took. You will see a watch on my face there when I was waiting. I would assume a minute and a half, but it took a long time. And why is that? Well, let's go back here to Control-Shift F8, remember, and observe up here that my breakpoints on qWarning, symbolic breakpoints on qWarning, well, that was the one that I tried but didn't do anything. So that one, we can throw that away again. But observe up here, qlogging.h, line 87. There is this symbol here indicating, sorry, I never figured out what that was. So my debugger tried really hard, and I tried this from a pure command line GDB. For some reason, it takes a long time to come to a conclusion. I cannot find that breakpoint. So if you ever find yourself in a situation that your debugger is really slow, bring up this breakpoints overview here and see if there's any of these. So better get rid. Let's get entirely rid of this one here now. There we are. And set the breakpoint as a symbolic breakpoint like this. qWarning. No. Or it's a Q. message log : warning. I hope I typed it right. Let's stop the whole thing again, start it, and fingers crossed, my application is running now. And if I typed it correct, it should hopefully, there we are. That is a breakpoint, not the one that I expected. So obviously I typed it wrong. qdebug is qmessage logger : warning. So back in here, obviously it did not take a long time to resolve the symbol name, but the file location, obviously. Start. And now we need to apply drops. And here we are in qmessage logger : warning. I can go one up my stack trace, and this is the line. Hooray! While I'm here in the debugger, let me just show you a few more facilities when it comes to breakpoints. If you look here, I now have added a for loop which runs from 0 to 100. You have that many places in your code. Not necessarily a for loop that runs like this, but something where you want to break whenever a special condition is met. Whenever the employee ID is 22, then we should break. So I want a breakpoint here, and I want it whenever I is equal to 52. There we are. I can go like this, and then I right click my breakpoint to edit it, and I can add the condition. That's one way of doing it. The other way is simply to press my shift key down when I apply my breakpoint, and this comes up right away. My condition is I equal to, better make that a proper expression. Was it 52 I said? And breakpoint hit message, so it can print out whenever that is hit. It can even print me a stack trace, and it can suspend my execution. Done. And now let's run my application. I was still in the debugger. Run again. And it's running. It's hitting again the qWarning breakpoint after it has built. There's my qWarning breakpoint hit. Almost. I'm waiting here. There's my Q breakpoint hit. I'll just continue. And now I'm in here, and let's see what I is equal to. You can see that up here. It is exactly those 52. Let's also look on the console output here. It's printed out all these numbers here. It told me I reached the breakpoint at this line here, and the stack is, okay, that is a rather boring stack trace, I admit it, but it would have been a proper one had it been somewhere proper in my application. This also is why it's super easy to, if I just want to debug stuff without actually breaking. Maybe I want to debug this line here, then I could go here again, shift, enter, enable it, do not suspend, so it just continues on. Evaluate and lock down here. I can print out I. It's an expression, so I would like to write something like I is equal to or whatever, but it's it's rather limited in what it can do in there. But well, now I'll see my numbers. If I run it again, I will see my numbers counting twice in my console, and it'll hit, well, hit this breakpoint first. And now hit this breakpoint here, but if I look in my console, you can see that it printed out my numbers, and it told me that it was hitting my breakpoints there too. Breakpoint reached at this line, I is equal to this, and then it printed out I, and so on. Pretty nifty. There is one final fancy, slightly hidden feature in here that is super cool too. Let me just show you that. Again, shift click to get to this dialog here, and there's actually more than what meets the eye. I can go here, press this one, and now I get back to this one that we saw before, but it's already at this breakpoint line that I'm configuring up here, and I can say that it should be disabled until this breakpoint has been met. So it will not break. This example is silly again, but it's you have a function perhaps and something that relates to events, and you do not want to break before a specific thing has happened, and you have a breakpoint on that specific thing, and the other breakpoint here is continuing until it has been hit. That is truly powerful. You can do that in regular KDAB without supporting your IDE, but it is somewhat annoying and difficult. In here, it's just straightforward. I'm Jesper Pedersen from KDAB. I hope you enjoyed this episode too, and now you know how to put a breakpoint on qdebug and some of the other facilities of the debugging facilities here in CLion. Until next time, have a great time.